I don't think you could have a more perfect, like a more perfect promotion campaign for anyone as what Wilson are just doing for Caitlin Clark. It's been legitimately perfect.
Wilson has debuted his latest ad for Caitlin Clark's popular basketball brand. In a nutshell, it is a cinematic masterpiece. If Caitlin Clark's on-court performance is poetry in action, then this advertisement is her visual mixtape that in addition to being amazed, fans are inspired. In less than a minute, Wilson managed to control the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, her impact, upbringing, bond with fans, and the specific components that made her the undisputed face of women's basketball.
Caitlin Clark just did something that no athlete has done since Michael Jordan.
But marketing by itself isn't the solution. The balls themselves are several narrative masterpieces. Every aspect of the design exudes Caitlin Clark's uniqueness and attention to detail, which shows Wilson wasn't just creating a product, but also leaving a legacy. I'll tell you all the fantastic details soon, but here's the headline. Caitlin Clark is the only other basketball player to have a whole Wilson signature line. The first was a guy named Michael Jeffrey Jordan. No pressure is present.
We need to talk about Caitlin Clark. Let's you and me talk about Caitlin Clark since you refuse to talk.
Because when fans saw this drop, they all had the same idea. Not even a signature shoe has been made for Caitlin Clark, the most talked about, Googled, followed, and watched female athlete in the world. It's not clear. It's crazy. It is just as perplexing as Nike. Please leave a comment below if you think Nike is doing anything incorrectly. Take immediate action.
The first athlete since Michael Jordan to get their own signature basketball from Wilson. She also becomes the first WNBA player to get her own signature basketball.
The truth seems to have finally been exposed by a Nike insider. If their assertions are true, the response is not just inadequate but downright impolite in light of what Wilson just done with precision, dignity, and sincere respect.
Just kick things off by welcoming Caitlin to the Wilson Design Lab set today as we take a look behind the scenes at the product line that we've created. Phase 2 of the Caitlin Clark product line.
Let's get into it.
As Nike stumbles, let's return to Wilson, who is giving a masterclass. From the start, Caitlin has been riding with them. She unveiled her first signature line last year. Incredible achievement. It was not just a straightforward product launch. It was a cultural moment. To be clear, throughout his career, Wilson only ever dealt with Michael Jordan in this manner. This year, they didn't just run it back. They became bigger, braver, and stronger.
We'll go through the Aspire. So this is using a reasonably newer technology of ours, the UV technology. So the pattern that it actually reveals is different positive affirmations for the athletes who are actually taking it outside to play with it.
It's all about the details. Wow, that's awesome.
Let's talk about the Aspire ball now. It seems to be clean, gray, sleek, and uncomplicated. But when it comes into contact with sunshine, it breaks down. A blazing scarlet flames through the messages. Despite its strange labyrinth form and outdoor play design, a closer inspection reveals that it subtly and repeatedly emits the words "Dream Big." Imagine it as motivational writing on a basketball.
Okay, so we got Oasis.
I will say, this is my favorite from just seeing it at first glance.
The pattern is a bit of an abstract illustration of what water looks like, and then also you're seeing the fairway, the greens, that's also kind of interspersed in the pattern too.
It's amazing. It's hard to pick a favorite ball, but this is going to be up there with that.
Yeah.
The diamond in the crown, the embracing ball, comes last. It is of the EVO NXT quality, conforms with rules, and is made for realistic gameplay. League rules required them to keep the ostentation to a minimum. But Wilson kept working their magic. You don't have to wait to believe in Caitlin Clark, which is terrible. You act, you invest, and you go forward. Wilson knew what he had to do. Nike is still unaware of the initiative. Nike often fails to explain Caitlin Clark's argument, but Wilson was able to do it. She is really incredible. She has swagger, vision, leadership, and range, and she puts butts in seats. For her, you don't need to start from scratch. You only need to admire her enthusiasm for the game.
All right, so we're gonna cover this one next. We're running some data during one of your Fever home games. It would kind of track noise and sound whenever like you would make a play. How do we take that theme and put it into a design? Well, it was a little bit of a scientific
Nah, this is cool. People need to listen to this. This is a high quality basketball. This is what the real hoopers use in the gym. This one. Can't pick a favorite. They're all amazing.
Caitlin's magic is that she isn't trying to advertise a product. She is the brand. Sincere, fervent, and joyful. Watching her ruin the court is pure serotonin. We'll take a closer look at Nike's involvement in this mess in a moment. Let's begin with what Hall of Famer Cynthia Cooper stated best.
Gigantic defense by the Clarks fans. 6th on the shot clock. Clark, a deep 3.
Feet on the hardwood, basketball in hand, guiding you, inspiring you, working on the player you dream to be. Because the ball will always bring you back to your favorite place. Calm, focused, and confident. To the place all roads lead, the game of basketball.
Wilson did more than just launch a product. They did an excellent job at portraying Caitlin's character both as a player and as a person. The result is quite inspiring in addition to being stylish. Come on, but during the first year, Jordan had his own unique sneakers. So did LeBron. When Nike sees a great talent, they tend to run rather than crawl. There is no business justification for delaying this. To be honest, Nike is not a fool. So what gives? But we could at last know the solution.
There's no better way to promote Caitlin Clark. She doesn't need any promotion of pre-game fits. There doesn't need to be any even a Nike terrible promotion is you can't win, so win, while ignoring her. You don't need to see, there doesn't need to be any of that crap. There doesn't need to be any bells and whistles.
A 15-year veteran of Nike's marketing department, Jordan Rogers, provided some perceptive analysis.
Now a three-pointer's distance behind the goal. We'll call it the -3. Hey, yo, it's okay. Come on. Oh! Yeah! I knew it!
Weakness.
This is the bounce back.
Yeah, what they
Yes,
came
it
in
is.
fine.
Yes!
Let's
That's so good!
keep on making.
That's so good!
Nike's sales department is struggling. For instance, classics like Jordans aren't selling as well as they used to. They want something new, something that has real cultural significance. Caitlin Clark sits there like a human cash register as Nike acts as if they are still reviewing her application. What is driving the country's most talked about athlete to gradually rise to prominence?
I think at times the hardest part is just not being able to be involved in practice. I love practice. Not a ton of people always enjoy coming to practice every single day, but that's something I really enjoy. I really enjoy coming out here and competing every single day with my teammates. That's probably honestly what I miss most. Obviously I miss the game. That goes for anybody that's ever hurt, but I love practice.
To be clear, the objective is not to beat Angel, but rather to highlight a strategic mismatch. Because Caitlin remains more significant, viral, and current than the players on the court despite her injury. When a player reaches Caitlin's level and the internet only sees bricks and blocked shots, something is wrong. Those successful films highlight ignored essentials rather than dominance. Angel, meanwhile, already has a pair of Reebok sneakers.
One word to describe Caitlin Clark.
Amazing.
Yes.
A beast. She is the truth. And I mean, she's the truth, and she was a rookie. Right?
Yeah.
Knock down the three-pointer, get to the rim. She can get to the free throw line. She's crafty.
Yeah, very crafty.
Crafty. So sometimes she's look like she's coming off for a three-point shot. She backdoors you for a layup. She gets her teammates involved. She can pass. She can shoot. Man, she is a complete basketball.
So here we are. Wilson demonstrates his inventiveness as Nike falters, and the league puts pride above progress. It's a simple situation. Once in a generation, a star finds themselves in marketing limbo while everyone else stays away from optics. That has to be corrected. It's time to stop playing politics and start playing to win. Please leave a comment below if you think Nike is doing anything incorrectly. Turn on all notifications, like, and subscribe to ensure you don't miss anything. See you in the next video. On the screen, click the video.